Hi and welcome back to 50 Cents. We're used to seeing bald men. Larry David even has his bald brotherhood. But did you know that actually more women suffer from hair loss than men? Around 2/3 of women will lose their hair at some point in their lives. Now this is a very personal one for me because I am one of those 2/3. Hair loss, she says, playing with her hair. Hair loss was one of the first things that took me to the doctor to see about my menopause, only I didn't know it was menopausal there. I've since discovered that I have a thing called frontal fibrosing alopecia. So basically my hair has receded around my temples, you can see here, and also at the very front. Now I'm not going to lie, because I am only human, and yeah, this does impact me sometimes. Most of the times I'm fine. I've learned how to adjust it with my own hairstyles. But every now and then, if the wind blows in the wrong way or I catch sight of myself in a mirror, it can have a big impact on how I'm feeling. Just about every woman should expect some form of hair change when they go through menopause. Mine is extreme, and with frontal fibrosing alopecia, they're not even sure that it is caused by hormones. But menopause will have some sort of impact on your hair because estrogen is just such an important hormone for your hair. It helps feed it. Hair loss can be one of the first things you notice too. So if you're washing your hair and you notice there's more shedding, you might also notice hair texture changes. Mine is certainly a lot drier than it used to be, and you might notice it looks a little frizzier at times too. Again, estrogen adds so much moisture into our body that when we start losing it, even our hair gets affected. Now we shed about 100 hairs every day anyway. So it's if you notice that the shedding is becoming more obvious, or you're noticing a lot of changes in the texture and you are menopausal, then they're probably connected. So my hair won't actually grow back in. I mean, I can't have a hair transplant, and yes, I have looked at it, because the actual follicles are dead and they won't take in any extra hair. But with just normal menopause hair loss, or just any form of midlife hair loss, that's not necessarily the case. There's rarely just one reason why you suffer. One of the main causes could be your diet. If we were to lose all our hair tomorrow, it would be psychologically devastating. But you'd live, you'd manage without it. And for this reason, hair is one of the last parts of the body to actually get the nutrients from your food, because it's not vital to our life. So when your diet's bad, your hair's the first thing that suffers, because it's getting what's left of the very little nutrients that you're putting in. Hair is also a barometer of our general health. So if you're suffering from stress, ill health, hormonal changes, thyroid problems, that can all impact and be seen in your hair. Then of course, good old genes come into it. Some people are genetically predisposed to be sensitive to the male hormones in us, the androgens. And that could mean they have thinner hair, or that it thins as they get older. There are many treatments you can try, and I've tried a lot of them as well, so this is my honest opinion about what works and what doesn't. If it's a nutritional problem, then the first thing you want to do is supplement your diet. You want to look at protein and biotin to strengthen the hair strands that are growing in and keep them in their growing phase longer. So not only will they stay in your scalp, but they'll grow a little more as well. When I first started talking about my hair loss, I was invited to try Neurocrine. This was in 2016, when it was basically just starting to hit. It's been scientifically proven to help with hair loss, and it contains, and yeah, I'm not looking forward to saying this, proteoglycan proteins, which promotes the hair growth cycle. My hair was stronger, it looked better, and it didn't seem to be shedding as much. But as my main problem was the alopecia, and it can't do anything about that, I stopped using it. At the time, I remember it was also quite expensive, but I've just checked on Amazon and you can now buy 3 months worth for £72, which works out at about 80 pence a day. So I think I'm going to try it again, because it did make a huge difference to my hair. There are also hair supplements that have soya in, because the phytoestrogen acts like your natural estrogen. But that's something I'm wary about taking, because I am on HRT and I don't want to overload my body with estrogen. But Philip Kingsley has the soya protein boost, and that might be able to help you as well. If you are finding this information helpful, I'd love it if you could hit the like button, because that helps other people get to see it too. Thank you. breakfast literally is the most important meal of the day when it comes to your hair. It's when the energy to form your hair cells is at the lowest, so you need to give that as much boost as possible. Go for something that's got protein and also complex carbohydrates. So we're talking poached eggs on wholemeal toast, for example, or quinoa porridge with some nuts and berries. And in the rest of your diet, look for omega-3 friendly foods, so those oily fish are going to come back out. One of the best things I've had said to me about your hair is like a flower, and for that flower to grow, it needs to have good soil, and your scalp is the soil for your hair to grow. Looking after your scalp will really help with hair loss. Shampoo regularly, and you can get some shampoos that are targeted for hair loss. I tried Nioxin in the early days. I didn't like the fact that it didn't lather, but my hair did look nice and it did feel stronger, so I do still recommend it. I like having a lather. And then of course there's Philip Kingsley Itchy Scalp Shampoo and Conditioner, and in fact all the Itchy Scalp range I highly recommend, and not just me, Mr. 50 Cents uses it as well at times. They also have a new density shampoo that I'm really looking forward to getting my hands on and trying. It promises to make your hair look a little bit thicker. Anything that can help me, I'll try. If I'm not using Philip Kingsley, then quite often I'll use Aveda. I love the smell of Aveda. Aveda Invati helps reduce the breakage, and it also helps exfoliate your scalp. They're getting rid of all that dead skin and encouraging new life to grow. It helps to condition your hair as well. I use a hair mask once or twice a week. I mean, I just enjoy it as well. It feels like a treat for me. I find nothing works as well as Philip Kingsley Elasticizer. You just dampen your hair, put some on, wrap your head into a shower cap, put your hair in a shower cap, and then leave it for 15 minutes, rinse off, shampoo, that's it. Your hair will look glossy and love you for it, trust me. There are very few treatments available for menopause related hair loss, but that is starting to change, and we're starting to see it on the high street as well. One of them's a new range by Pantene that several women have told me they've tried, so I'm going to give it a shot and see if it works too. Let your hair air dry as much as possible. Keep your hair dryer on the lowest setting and try to avoid the styling ones, the hair straighteners, as much as you can. Basically, I got told, treat your hair like a cashmere sweater, and I love that. Just take a bit of care with it. Love your crowning glory. If it's lifestyle that's causing your hair loss, I'm going to come to that in a second, but first, if you have enjoyed this and found it useful, I'd really appreciate it if you could hit the subscribe button and hit the little bell, and then you'll find out as soon as my next videos come out. And if it is lifestyle stress that's causing your hair loss, check out my video on managing anxiety and stress. That'll help.